Hello, everybody. You're listening to Wave of the Planet with your boy, DJ Big Bopper.
And your girl, DJ Shar Dangerous. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Hey, what up? You got any music for us today?
I do. You go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first. My song of the day is going to be Unravel by Jonathan Young. He does covers of a lot of different songs. He does a cover of a lot of different Disney songs. So I'm sure there's some version of a Disney song that you will enjoy. So check him out, Jonathan Young. He's great voice, and I mean he can go through all kinds of different spectrums of music that he when he sings, and it's phenomenal. And you should definitely check him out.
So mine is it's so hard for me every week because I listen to so much music. I literally will go to my Spotify and hit shuffle on a playlist. So the one that and then I'll if I land on it, I'm like, yeah, this will do. Or I'm like, no. Mine is Elevate by St. Lucia. Okay. I think you'd like it. It's got a really good vibe. It's got a really good beat to it. And it just, like I said, it's one of those songs that I like to have my windows down and just rolling down the street. So it's my song of the day.
Heck yeah.
What happened this week, Bob?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about, we got two different things going on with two different fathers. The first one is going to be with Michael Jackson's father.
Yeah, Joe Jackson just passed away. How do you feel?
Well, he passed away with cancer, which I feel is a pretty terrible way to go.
Yeah, it is for sure.
And he's been around for a while. He was Michael Jackson's talent agent. He's done a lot of work in his life, and it's just sad that his son had to go before him. I don't think.
Yeah. Also, this is so hard to talk about and not necessarily remain neutral,
mm-hmm.
but you know what I mean, because Joe Jackson wasn't the nicest guy.
No.
He was a manager to his kids,
mm-hmm.
But he wasn't the nicest guy. He made him money, but at the end of the day, I think that his relationship with his children suffered a lot, and
mm-hmm.
so he was 89 years old. He just passed away this morning, so we're breaking the news.
They had a lot of reports against him on emotional and physical abuse from the children,
mm-hmm.
and he also admitted to Oprah Winfrey that he hit his children with a strap and had no regrets over doing it.
Yeah.
But he said it kept them out of jail.
Yeah.
And it kept them right.
I think he had the attitude that a lot of older, I'll say African American parents have, that we're gonna do what we can to make sure our kids turn out right.
Mm-hmm.
So he saw an opportunity in his kids where they could be successful, and he made it happen. So with that,
mm-hmm.
he kept them out of trouble. He, got them on a path to where they would be successful. But I think that in that he kind of neglected, per se, I guess, his relationship with his kids. I know, towards the end, they didn't really have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the Jackson 5, per se, they felt a lot of pressure. And so he did just pass away with pancreatic cancer, it was. So, like we said, there's a lot of them are reporting a lot of the news sites. One site that I do like online is The Onion. I guess it's for comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff going on in the world.
And so,
news
source.
It's completely satirical, but I think it's hilarious when people see their stories and retweet them and they're like, this is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, it's not real. But one of The Onion, they came out 15 minutes ago and said, heavenly sources confirm that Joe Jackson's already screaming at Michael.
Oh, God.
So they're trying to make light of it. It is very serious and, sad of his passing. He was 89, so rest in peace.
And then...
we had some other dad news, though, huh?
Yeah, we do have other dad news because there was Nellie's father. We're talking about a little bit about that falling out with your parents. So Nellie's dad went to Ashanti's concert, and if you don't know, Ashanti is Nellie's ex-girlfriend of 10 years.
Well, see, I don't know how, I'm so naive. I didn't know that Nellie and Ashanti dated, right? But I knew who they were separately, of course,
mm-hmm.
and I knew they had music together, and I loved them together, but I didn't know that they were together.
Mm-hmm.
So That was a shock to me.
Well, they'd been together for about 10 years when they split up in March of 2015.
Oh, wow.
They've been together for a while, and I guess his father went to a Shanti concert, took a picture with her and posted it online, and he did not like that. He said, in one of his tweets, he goes, "The word father is a strong word, something I never knew anything about as a child because mine never did what he had to do, only what he wanted." And he goes, "I hope it was worth it, Pops. I'm done with you. No more money from me. Let them pay your bills."
Oh, wow. So he literally just, he he literally just like, Dad, you had to choose sides and you chose the wrong one.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, pay your bills. He's trying to say Ashanti pay for.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's trying to say like that Ashanti should pay his bills now because evidently he was taking care of his dad and paying all the bills and stuff. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just shady. But then again, maybe they had like a really bad breakup. I guess it was really Ashanti said that she's been betrayed. So maybe they, had a really bad breakup and Nelly was like, well, he can't choose sides anymore, and he started choosing sides. So maybe that's it.
Well, one, I don't know why his father was there in the first place. And then two, I don't know why it would be such a huge deal for him to go out on that and just try to his father wasn't there when he was a kid, so, and I guess he tried to reconcile now that he had like money and whatnot, so I guess he pays for a lot of his dad's stuff, so I guess he's just like part of that.
Well, that's common, like, for successful just successful people in general. They take care of their parents and stuff like that. Maybe it just hit him the wrong way when he found out. I feel like Nelly also didn't think that his father was much of a father when he was growing up. So Nelly, him and his dad didn't have that very good of a relationship in the beginning. You'd read about that, what he tweeted. He also posted on Instagram, and he said, just because it's your DNA, don't make you a father. Mine never saw me play sports, never taught me anything, never saw me graduate, and I still took care of him for almost 20 years. He never took care of me for half that. Until this day, he still does whatever he wants to do, though. I pay his bills. Well, used to. That's over as of tonight. And then he also, he tweeted again about his mom. And he said, "You don't see my mama. Should have known she would have held it down. She always had a job, came to my game, saw her son graduate, saw me score my first touchdown, bought me my first pair of J's, wiped my tears away when I lost the big game, and taught me how to play sports. Mama's boy." And so he posted that on Instagram and said, "Shout out to all the mamas that had to be fathers for their kids. To my mama who taught me how to catch and play ball, took me to my game, borrowed money to buy me cleats, and stood up and cheered when I walked the stage. I love you, mama. Get it now, totally." I get it now, totally. So I guess he did. Ashanti, like, when she talked about her and Nelly's breakup, she said that she felt betrayed. So I guess now this is him feeling betrayed. So.
Well, how I see it, a lot of it is just like his dad was never there for him. It was always his mom, and he just has a lot of this emotions towards it, but he tried to like fix things. He tried to get his dad back in his life. He tried to reconcile with him, and I guess it's just a lot. I don't know if I would consider it like overreacting, because it is just a concert. But I understand, based on how he was raised, like his father was never there, and he was just like, man, why one time, why can't you?
Yeah, I think it's like, depending on, like, I feel like him and Ashanti, like, when they came out about their breakup, like, there wasn't much that was said. And so, after their breakup, like, not much was said, but it was just like, betrayal. So I feel like they had kind of like a split, like, and not like a resentment with each other, but like, like they don't talk anymore. They're done. They're splitting off. And so I feel like, his dad going to her concert, like, it's not even just the fact that he went to her concert. He went to her concert, and then he like took pictures with her and like publicized it and stuff like that. He definitely didn't tell Nelly beforehand. Because if he would have told him, Nelly would have been like, I don't know how I feel about this. But he publicized it, and then Nelly found out through social media, and then this is what Nelly did. He reacted and not responded. So that's how I feel about it.
I agree. I think well, I don't really know the whole situation, but I think he overacted a little bit. I mean, there obviously is a lot from the past that maybe this was just the final straw for him, and he just kind of freaked out. So,
yeah. But I mean, hey, I hope that they can work it out. Maybe he's not paying his bills anymore, but I hope that he can still, keep a relationship with his dad, especially, with the passings today. I hope, they still maintain a good relationship.
So I actually ended up going out to Fort Worth last night. I went to this little barbecue place called Rowhead Smokehouse Barbecue, where I think almost every day they have like a little live performance going on there. Well, I ended up watching Brandon Ryder and Chance Ray last night, and it was actually not the best performance I've ever seen. Like I've heard some of his music on the albums, on the radio, and it sounds really good. The act before him, which I don't remember their name, the act before him was pretty good. I was eating my barbecue, and it was a pretty good act that they had. And then he came out, and it sounded really bad live. And I don't know about you, but when I watch a concert, like definitely with artists and everything, I don't care how good you sound in studio. If you don't sound good live, I just don't think you're that great of a musician.
Okay, see, that's the thing. Yeah. Last week I talked about the AJ concert that I went to and how it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to because live it was so hype. Yeah, that's completely important. And I feel like nowadays especially we have people who are like lip syncing their music and then using auto-tune, which is fine. If that's your brand, that's your brand. But like if you can't make a live performance feel as good to someone as it feels like when you're jamming out in your car, then what's the point?
Exactly. It was just like, I mean, like I said, I enjoy his music. I've listened on the radio. I like it. But when it came to live, I was just thoroughly disappointed. And I've only ever been to one other concert. Typically, you don't really see that with rock and country artists. You don't really see them not performing very well live. I mean, there are several. Like, if you ever played Guitar Hero, so you'll know what Through the Fire and Flames is. If you've ever, they cannot play that song live. That's 70% studio.
Yeah.
Like I've seen videos of that live and it just sounds terrible.
And I think me and Lance were talking a couple days ago about like how some music is completely overproduced. And I feel like I know like a lot of artists have the mindset of they want to record this music because they want it to get streamed and this and that. But I think that your end goal should be a concert like or a festival or something that you're going to go and perform this music on. And if you're not in the studio consciously thinking like, okay, this song sounds good, but how is it going to sound when I'm on a stage performing it? And I feel like rap you don't have that much of a problem with because you've got the instrumental tracks. So you're fine there. But yeah, with like rock and country, I feel like you have to consciously think about that.
Well, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, yes, you said overproducing. They overproduce it, and it's to the point it was like, how could we recreate this live? It's just not really possible. I mean, like you said, some rappers, it's mostly instrumental in the background. But I mean, if they're huge auto-tune or they do a lot of voice manipulation in a lot of their songs in studio, it's very hard to recreate that.
You can get an auto-tune mic, but other than that, like it may not sound the same. And there are those rap shows that aren't as good as like listening. I feel like in my mind, I'm always like, if I listen to a song, I'm like, this is a good song. This is a really cool song. I want to hear this in concert, and I want it to sound better. I feel like hearing live music should be better than hearing it recorded.
I agree because, well, not only you're there in the moment, you're watching them play, you get to see this, you get to connect with them while they play. One of my favorite bands of all time is Def Leppard, and I saw them live with Kiss. They opened for Kiss, and I've seen them live 4 times now. I'm probably going to see Journey and Def Leppard. Probably going to be on my list to see. I've already seen Journey live. They're phenomenal as well. And I was really psyched for Kiss because I've never seen Kiss. Yeah. I've heard great things about Kiss. I mean, you grow up like they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're all this. Like they're a showman. So I was really excited to go there. And Def Leppard sounded phenomenal. They sound studio quality, every time I've seen them sounded so close to studio quality live, it is amazing. They're great artists. They can recreate that craft in the studio as they do out live, and it's awesome. And then Kiss came along. Kiss, while the show was really cool, they didn't sound good at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Do you think it's because of how, I don't want to say age, but like, you know, how fresh the music was back then when it first came out versus now?
Going with age, Def Leppard's almost the same age.
True.
And then their drummer only has one arm, and he still makes it happen. I mean, I wouldn't really... I think from what I'd seen when I'd watched them, they put, like I said, they are showmen. The show was great.
Okay,
It was a great show. They just didn't sound good.
Okay, I get that.
I feel like they put a lot of their effort into just visuals. And I mean, Star Child got up on top of the Woodlands Pavilion and then ziplined down. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's playing the entire time. I was like, that's difficult to do all these things and still sound good live. That's why a lot of like hip hop pop stars, they're running around dancing and doing all kinds of stuff with the mic. They're probably going to be lip syncing.
Yeah, they're either lip syncing or have a backtrack to where if they're, you know, not singing, it's...
Or if you see a lot of these bands, they go out like for the Super Bowl, like these older bands, they'll go out there and they'll be dancing around and they'll be too out of breath to even sing. It's just like...
Okay, so question. When you're at a concert, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a good show or a good sound?
Sound.
Sound.
Period. I mean, I don't care. You could have nothing up on that stage. You could not be running around. You could just be singing and playing, but
sitting there on a stool.
Yeah, you could, and I would, dude. If it sounds great, that is it for me.
100%. I'm the same because I feel obviously if you can get both.
Yeah, obviously, I would prefer them being active. Yeah. But if I had to choose between sounding good and looking good, I would go sound good because I paid this money to hear them live.
Exactly. You paid this money for an experience, and while watching this show is a great experience, I mean, I feel like if I am at a concert, I want to be able to close my eyes and close my eyes, be there in the moment and like feel everything going on and hear it and just like be okay with that. And like if it's a good show, that's understandable. Like, okay, cool, it's a good show. But I want a good show and good music. And if I have to choose between the two, I want good music. You know? Like that's the same reason why like while you're cleaning, right? Sometimes or most of the time I'll put on Spotify versus like watch a show or something because number one, I'm going to be listening to music versus watching something.
Right.
You know?
How I feel like as an artist, you should, I mean, I understand that there's studio things. Like and when you're in studio, you want everything to sound perfect.
Yeah, and it's
I
a
get
lot
that.
clearer and stuff like that. But
and I mean, I 100% I understand that. But don't overproduce it to where you can never reproduce it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because the thing is, like, consciously you know that every time you're in the studio making a new song, you're going to have to recreate that song in a live format. Whether you are going to do it acoustic or not, you know? So,
yeah. Well, the thing is, even, and if you've noticed with a lot of rock bands, they actually do end up going back and do acoustic covers of a lot of their different songs. But when I get psyched to hear one of my favorite bands is coming in town or a good band's coming in town, I really want to go listen to their music, and I get really psyched, and I end up going there, and they can't reproduce most of what is on that, and they can only do so much. Like they can't let's say they have 7 instruments in the background going on in that song, but they only have like 3 out there, and they're missing those elements, and they can't make that everything sound right, and it just...
So when that happens, because I know what I would prefer, but what would you prefer them to do? Like if they can't recreate the whole sound, would you rather them half butt it or would you rather them do it acoustic? Because I would much rather prefer acoustic.
See, at that point, yes, acoustic would definitely be better. Do an unplugged version of it. Yeah. Or just not do that song and go on to another one that they can do.
And see, I think that's a lot of the problem too, is like the most famous songs off of certain albums are so like overproduced and stuff like that. And then if they don't get performed live, people are like, why didn't you perform this? And you're like, well, they can't recreate that experience live anymore.
See, like I said, I've seen Dragon Force and they did not play Through the Fire and Flames because they tried it. they were doing that tour and they tried it earlier in the tour and they can't do it.
Yeah.
Because 70% of that sound is from the studio. And
Yep.
the only way they'd be able to do it is that they put the track behind it, and then that just takes away from the magic and the beauty of the song. So
then it's not, live anymore.
Exactly. And then it's just, as an audiophile, that's how I see the production. I see the production value of it, but I want to be able to see it live. I want to be able to feel this. I want to be able to hear all these sounds. Like when I saw Buckethead live, he creates some of the craziest sounds with his guitar, but he does it.
Yeah.
It's him live. It sounded phenomenal. It was amazing.
Well, when I went to that AJR concert, I was like, this is like pop synth stuff. Like, how are they going to do that live? He had the keypad right there and he was doing it. And even though that's like, stuff that obviously they recreated that they did in the studio, he was able to recreate that live for an experience. And then it made a part of the experience, and that was a show. But the sound was amazing as well, and I think that's why that was such a great show.
See, a lot of those, they use the MIDI keypads, the launch pads, or synthesizers to make a lot of those beats, and it's really cool to see them do that live, and I think it makes it sound really good. But that is something that's really easy to recreate. That is easy to recreate live because you can still have all those sounds. Yeah,
because I really thought, honestly, they were just going to have that as a backing track and then just be performing live. But they did it. They created it, and it was amazing. Yeah, I get what you were saying, though, about live concerts. Like, that's my end goal. If I hear, a song from an album, I want to hear it live. And then, so speaking of live music, we got Posty Fest coming up in September. We did talk about a couple rappers that we thought we were going to see there. A couple of them were on the XXL list, and the XXL freshman class came out not too long ago. I think we touched on it last week. Next week we'll go super into depth about it because I think that's when the Cypher will come out. But we did, look at the list. We heard some of the freestyles.
Some of them just weren't really what I thought they were going to be. But I'll wait till the Cyphers. I'll wait till the Cypher. Wait till that come out and make my final opinion.
Yeah, I'll judge them then. But so me and Bob have decided to make our top XXL list of rappers. Mine's pretty current. I would say it's the rappers from like the last 5 years or so. And so like our top 5, mine are gonna be based lyrically. All of the guys on this list are lyrical geniuses. Hate it or love it. You can hate my picks. You can love my picks, but whatever. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. Why not?
Are you going to go from 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
I'm just going to do, I can't really put them in.
I have mine.
These are just my top 5.
All right.
I can't really.
All right, mine are ranked.
Remember, these go all the way back from 2007 to 2018. So we got 11 years of artists to go through.
Yeah.
I'll say, actually, you know what? I probably will say he's my number 1 just because I enjoy his music. He's a great performer. He's a great comedian. I've never not been pleased with whatever he does, and that would
I already know who you're talking about, and I've never seen him live, but I want to.
And that would be my boy Lil Dicky would be probably my top pick.
The independent variable.
I love his music. He's hilarious. His shows are hilarious. He's just a great personality, and I just think he's my number 1. But going off of that, I also have Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, of course.
Denzel Curry, because he's ultimate.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we listened to his freestyle a couple days ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's good. And then we got Machine Gun Kelly.
Brick Squad.
And J. Cole.
Of course.
That would be my top 5.
Yeah.
And they're not in order. They're just not top 5 except for Lil Dicky's number 1.
Okay, we share 3 of the same. Mine are ranked. I had to rank them because if I didn't rank them, you wouldn't take me seriously. So my number 1 is J. Cole. And like I said, this is lyrically. So lyrically, I feel like he is, I don't want to say the best, but he's amazing. What he does with his lyrics and the way, that he turns them into a story. I love that. And then my number 2 is Kendrick Lamar. Because, he's Kendrick Lamar, like for real. The same thing. His lyrics just, they take you into a story. My number 3 is Chance the Rapper. I love Chance the Rapper. He has been making music for longer than a lot of people know, but I love listening to his stuff. I love his transitions, how he can go from the different types of music that he can make, and the different feelings you can elicit from him. And then LD, I got Lil Dicky on mine. Lil
Yep.
Dicky is, it's funny because he started rapping and he just like thought he would never be taken seriously, and I feel like his music still isn't taken that seriously, but if you listen to his freestyles, he's so good. He's so good. Like, the way that his brain must think so fast, like the way that he connects things and the way that he tells stories, and his music videos are so funny, and like his music is so funny.
A lot of his songs, because he was a comedian. He wanted
Yeah.
to be a comedian before he ever even thought about being a rapper.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of his songs, he has like his funny ones, and then
Yeah.
he has like really serious ones
Yeah.
that really like make you think. And I think one of his, like the biggest one to me that you would kind of tell him that he put a lot of his emotions, like tell him how he felt, his struggle, like how he got to where he is from what he wanted to be, and how he never expected to ever be in the rap game. And that would be his Russell Westbrook on a Farm by Lil Dicky, and it tells everything, and it just compares like how Russell Westbrook, how he came to where he is from farming,
Yeah.
and how Lil Dicky came to making raps from
Yeah.
being a comedian, and it gives you everything, and there's so much emotion, and that is one of my favorite songs by him because it's just so raw
Yeah.
and emotional, and it's just
We'll see like his switch up game, because like he has like songs like Professional Rapper, and then like Save That Money. Save That Money is so funny, but it's like serious. He's like talking about how these other rappers stunt, but he doesn't stunt because he doesn't have money for that. He's making his money and he's saving his money. But
Save That Money.
But then he'll make a serious song like Molly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of funny too, because it's the hardest pill to swallow, and it's called Molly, but it's really about his ex-girlfriend who's getting remarried, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually did go to her wedding when she got married, so that was nuts. But with Panic at the Disco, like he can, you know, go from like Professional Rappers with Snoop Dogg,
Mm-hmm.
so like his music is like different and varies, and I love it so much. And then the last one on my list is Mac Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's been out of the game for a while. He just dropped 3 new songs. I think that he was good and he was feeling good and he was a little comfortable. Now him and, you know, Ariana broke up and she's engaged, and I think that he's going through some hurt, which you never want to hear that, you know, you never want to hear that your favorite rapper is going through some
Mm-hmm.
hurt, but also you're like the little devil on your shoulders, like new music. But
Write about your pains.
yeah, so, but I really love like listening. I was listening to his old stuff a couple days ago, like when I was in the shower, like Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza. Like, it's 2-minute songs, and I hate songs that are less than 3 minutes. I hate songs that are less than 3 minutes and 30 seconds usually. But like that song's like 2.5 minutes long, and I just get into it every time. Or like Donald Trump, that's a good song too.
Like Donald Trump.
And it like I don't know. I feel like he's on a completely other plane, and I don't think he's got a new sound now. His sound now is a little bit more mellow than it used to be. But like he doesn't make jokey songs, but he makes songs that are just about his life and stuff. And then like Missed Calls, that was such a serious song. Like I used to listen to that song sometimes, and it would just like put you in a funk a little bit, because you're like, wow, he's hurting a little bit. But yeah, that's my list.
Well, see, you were talking about how Lil Dicky, he can go from, he has all these different sounds, and I feel the same with Post Malone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I want them both to be a Posty first.
I do too. Oh, that would be
Because I feel like
dope.
they both have such great range of what they
Yeah.
can do. Like, I would love
Yeah.
to see a collab between Lil Dicky and Post Malone.
I would too, and I feel like Post Malone may be starting to venture into like, I think he's gonna end up doing country music.
Oh, well, that's what he wanted to do in the first
Yeah.
place. So I do feel like, well, even if he doesn't just switch genres to country, he will have a country album.
Oh,
eventually.
absolutely. I think that maybe I don't know. This might be his last hip hop album for a while.
Mhm.
I think that his
We'll
next
see.
album might be a little poppier, as a transition to country, or he might just drop a country album. But I know,
Regardless, I'm looking forward to it. 'Cause I
me
love
too.
Post Malone.
me too.
And it's just like, he
Well,
can
see-
do so much, and he has such
Yeah.
good kind of music. And it's not just like one kind of style. The fact that he can branch out
Yeah.
and do multiple different things, and it's always enjoyable.
Well, see, like Beer Bongs and Bentleys and Stoney, those were both like hip hop albums, but he had songs on there that were a little bit more poppy, and he had some other songs that were a little bit slower. So we always end up talking about Post Malone at the end. You notice that? He's a good dude. He's a local dude. He's from Fort Worth, I believe.
He went
so.
to TCC, Tarrant Community College, and he's also in one of their, or at least he was at one point on one of their videos for TCC.
I mean, that's what we had this week. Sorry, it's short, but I mean, man,
So we got all that coming up on Wave of the Planet next week. Hopefully they will have dropped their ciphers so we can go a little bit more in depth on our XXL freshman class of 2018.
Big audition.
If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe for updates when new episodes drop. And follow our station on Twitter and on Facebook at The Planet 107 to see everything going on at Tarleton Radio.